Hey, what's up everybody? Q Salazar here. So whenever I'm speaking with someone outside of the video game industry, there's always this assumption that I know all things gaming, that I know all the new games coming out, that I know the newest champion in the League of Legends tournament, or that I know all the drama between, YouTube influencers or Twitch streamers. Now, although I know a little bit about a bunch of things, I don't know everything. There's different lanes in this video game journalism side of things. So my lane is pretty much as a mainstream video game reporter. I like keeping track of all the newest AAA games coming out, what Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo are doing, all the innovations and new tech that they're coming out with, and all the great ideas that they're coming out with. That's always been my excitement, is sharing that mainstream news with people that are into video games. The next lane is criticism. So this is video game reviews, video game previews, opinion editorials, people sharing their thoughts on the latest trends and the latest news in the video game industry. Now, I go back and forth between reporter and critic because I have reviewed games and I have done some opinion columns before. But there are people who are strictly on the criticism side, and then there's people who are strictly on the reporter side. Of course, as someone who reports on the news, of course I'm going to have an opinion, so I want to share that sometimes. But so for an example, if you think of someone like Stephen A. Smith, he's not your traditional reporting journalist. He's more of a critic. He's responding to the news that's already been reported on, and he's sharing his opinion and his thoughts. And then you have someone like ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski, who is an NBA reporter. He's the one that's always breaking the news. He's the first one to get it out to the masses, and that's been his lane. He doesn't really offer his opinion on this news most of the time. He's just giving you the facts of what's happening. On the video game side, you think of an investigative reporter like Jason Schreier. He's more known for his investigative pieces than his, opinion. Although he has done reviews and, and all that kind of stuff, he's more known for these, in-depth investigative news stories. However, on the other side, there's like Ben Kuchera, who is the reviews editor over at Polygon, and he's known for his in-depth reviews of some of, the hottest games out. So we have the reporting and then the criticism within the mainstream AAA video game scene. Now, on the other side is esports, which is kind of like its own industry within the video game industry. And it's funny how people, expect me to know the ins and outs of esports when there's like dozens of games and dozens of personalities, and each of those games have its own community. You have like League of Legends, you have Call of Duty, you have the Overwatch League, you have CSGO, Rainbow Six League, Fortnite, Apex Legends, and then you got the fighting game community like Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Tekken, Super Smash Brothers. It's just, there's so much in esports that it's its own thing, and you have to specialize in that scene or one game to keep up with it. And just imagine, each game has its own community, its own celebs and superstars, and their own tournaments and their own thing going on. So when you think about it, esports needs its own reporters, its own analysts, its own commentators, its own professional sports world. Similar to how ESPN covers all sports, each sport has its own specialists, its own reporters covering that scene. Esports needs the same thing. And there are sites out there that are doing great things like .esports or Esports Insider or Esports Observer, and they're doing pretty good. But it'd be great if there was a network like ESPN for esports. And if anybody out there is launching something like that, holla at me. I'd love to help out. Then finally, we have the entertainment side of the video game industry. This is your Twitch streamers, your YouTube influencers, and all those, personalities that play games online for an audience. I'm thinking about folks like PewDiePie, Ninja, who's actually a former, esports athlete, Jacksepticeye, Dr. Lupo, Pokimane, Shroud. There's dozens and dozens, and they all have, hundreds of thousands, millions of followers and eyes watching them every day, watching them play games. Now, each of them have their own communities, each of them have their own news, their own partnerships that they're launching, their product lines. Ninja came out with a book a few years ago. Pokimane was playing Among Us with Representative AOC recently. Dr. Lupo, maybe he's dropping a new line of merchandise. All of that needs its own coverage. The thing with the entertainment side of the gaming industry, though, is sometimes it'll kind of cross the line into gossipy, tabloidish types of stories. Sometimes there's some he said, she said, or watch so and so kind of lose their mind on stream, and that goes viral and all that kind of stuff. It can get kind of messy. However, there's absolutely an audience for that, and if that's in your lane, go ahead and take it, go for it. So those are just a few of the opportunities under the video game journalism umbrella that you can explore and kind of see what you can take interest in. For me, I found my lane. I know what I enjoy. I enjoy interviewing people. I enjoy sharing the latest news and games and new innovations and technology. And I dabble a little bit in esports. I like Call of Duty League and watching some of the fighting game tournaments, but the mainstream AAA games is kind of my lane. So what do you guys like? That's all I got for you, so I'll talk to you later. Peace.